Founder Labs, we are in conversation with Dr. Deepika Singh, founder and CEO of DG Rakshak Private Limited, a deep tech health innovation company redefining early breast cancer screening. An electronics and telecommunication engineer and researcher by training, Dr. Singh has translated cutting-edge research in thermal imaging and AI into a radiation-free, non-invasive, painless and low-cost screening solution designed for accessibility, especially in underserved communities. Her work sits at the powerful intersection of science, novelty, empathy, and impact. In this episode, we explore how research becomes real-world change, why early screening and detection must be inclusive, and what it takes to build purpose-driven innovation in healthcare. So, hi, Dr. Deepika.
Hi, Anuradha. How are you?
I'm great and so wonderful to have you here talking about your work. So, to dive right into it, you began your journey as, an electronics and telecommunication engineer and researcher. So, tell us a little bit about that background, and then what was the moment which decided, that you should pivot into, making your research, using your research and your background to, for a mission-driven startup, really. How did that happen?
Yeah, so actually, the journey began when my elder daughter was born. So my mother was diagnosed with stage 3 invasive ductal carcinoma. That is basically breast cancer in advanced stage. So there was a nipple discharge, and as a doctor told her upfront about her condition, so she actually went into coma. So in addition to fighting the disease, she also couldn't walk properly throughout. So, at that time I was doing my MTech, and it was really painful to see the cycles of chemotherapy and radiation. And I was exploring every way to save her life, but we couldn't. Both her breasts were removed, and we had to clean her blood, oozing from wounds. So, many families, especially the middle class and lower middle class families, they are destroyed completely, financially, emotionally, physically, because this treatment is not only costly, but it drains the whole family. So, yeah. And as my mother's name is Suman, so, at that time only I decided that I had to do something to just ensure that, a life of a woman is saved. So in our logo symbol, we have kept the flower as a symbol so that we get her blessings throughout my fight against breast cancer. And also, I would like to emphasize the importance of taking care of our health, especially as a woman, because she's the backbone of a family. All the women who are listening to this podcast, please make sure that, you get yourself examined regularly. Consult your doctor. If you have any abnormal symptoms in your breast, like there's a change in shape or size, or there's any lump, or there's any discharge. So such awareness and regular breast cancer screening can save millions of lives across the globe. So this is how we started.
Yeah. Which year was this?
We were established in April 2023.
It's just for 3 years old.
Yeah, so this was research converted into startup, and me and my husband and co-founder, we just, seeing my drive and seeing the level up to which we can, I had many publications. So it was promising that, something could be done in this area. I did a lot of R&D. I got in touch with many oncologists and radiologists to see what are the problems they are actually facing, to see the problems of the patients, and can I provide a solution to them? Yeah. So, step by step, brick by brick, we are building.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing your mother's story. And so sorry to hear what she went through, but it's wonderful that, you're using that to help other women in the country. And, what I'm realizing that, you with all your access to healthcare and everything, even then your mother, it was diagnosed only in the in the 3rd stage, really. So it remains cancer detection, especially in the early stages, it remains inaccessible for so many women, especially in the rest of the country. So that shaped DG Rakshak's vision, I suppose?
Yeah, definitely. This was the only reason, in fact, DG Rakshak's mission is not only to fight breast cancer, but the cancer. Motto is unite to fight cancer. And the technology that I did a lot of R&D and, we evolved. It is applicable not only to breast cancer, but to lung and oral cancer as well. So in the future, that is why we are taking time to, bring the quality to the product so that we can address other problems, other cancers as well, in a cost-effective manner. That is the most important.
So can you explain it a little, the technology, how it works, how it's accessible, and you said it's low cost, for the lay audience. Can you just explain it?
Okay. Yeah. So, now starting with the current challenges. Actually, mammography is a gold standard. It is prescribed throughout the world if there's any breast problem. ultrasound if it is just, if there is any chances, and to confirm mammography, and then comes MRI and biopsy. So for a layman, if you can say, mammography machines, actually they are deployed, they're very costly, starting from 15 lakh. So big centers, big health diagnostic centers only can deploy them. And moreover, the mammography cost is starting from 1,000 going up to 3,000, 4,000, which is not affordable for many women, many women who are, not in cities or big cities. Second thing is, there's an exposure of radiation, X-ray radiation, so it cannot be prescribed more than once a year, and especially for women below 40 years. And during my study, when I, collected data from breast cancer patients, many were below 40, starting from 15 year onwards. So such cases are left in mammography screening, regular mammography screening. Ultrasound, even though it is low cost, but it doesn't cover microcalcification, which sometimes leads to cancer. And it is operator dependent. Okay, so, and then again, there is especially in India, there's a taboo regarding the health. You don't talk openly about your health, so that is again a limitation. And cost, yeah. So the device that we are, offering is Brexwell. Our device name is Brexwell. Currently, we are offering it at 1.77 lakh, which is very much less costly than other such competitive devices in market. It is handheld, low cost, portable, radiation free. The technology we are using is non-invasive, so you don't have to get in touch with the breast. It is just kept near the breast to identify, read the signals, and based on our unique algorithm, we predict whether there is a high risk or low risk. So a device is not a diagnostic tool; it is a screening tool, because that is again a major factor to identify at least the women who may have cancer in first stage or second stage. They have to get themselves examined further. So that is one major reason, women, especially in India. This is let me just state some facts, statistics. According to Globocon data, nearly 192,000 females died because of breast cancer. 2025 data I'm talking about. These cases were there were 2 lakh cases that were detected. Most of these cases were in the age group of 15 to 40, which is left by mammography, which is not covered in mammography. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, you can imagine. Even though there are many breast cancer awareness programs that are being conducted in SOPA, especially hospitals, metro cities, but they don't reach tier 2 and tier 3 cities. They don't reach normal people. Okay, so this is the reason that we are losing lives daily. And this is this is once you go, I collected data for nearly 1 year in medical college. It was scary because women are, they just spend their whole money coming to the doctor, and they are not able to afford the treatment cost. It needs a follow-up. It needs a proper planning. So what we planned, we are, just making an ecosystem. It's not only about the device or the service. It's about a system with the oncologist, with the local administration, so that, women get screened, they get a regular follow-up, and based on the data that we are collecting. The data that I've collected is unique. You get many AI/ML model-based devices which are based on the US data, because that is easily accessible. But in India, it is difficult to see the trend, in which region breast cancer cases are high or low. So we are generating that unique data, and that will also help us in understanding, the treatment, the modification of the treatment, and the follow-ups, and the policies that are required to address such issues, on a larger scale.
Yeah, that's very interesting what you pointed out. I'm just realizing you mentioned 15 to 40, because normally for mammograms and, women are advised after, once they hit, a certain point in their 30s or 40s, so nobody thinks of that age, after 15. So I'm surprised. And the other thing you mentioned, that you're collecting data which is, typical to India. So
exactly.
So how are you doing that? So just tell me, what is the age group that you've seen across India, and some cases that you've seen, and the data, how you're gathering data around all this?
So, yeah, we had an MOU with Medical College, Motilal Nehru Medical College, Prayagraj, and there's a diagnostic center, Kriti Diagnostic Center. And also, we are in touch with oncologists from KGMU, Lucknow. So because initially, obviously, with our limited resources, we have got Startup India Seed Fund, and we have got Start in UP Seed Fund, but still, during the product development phase, it is quite difficult to manage finances. So we have kept the region of Allahabad, Prayagraj, and we are targeting Lucknow as well. because people are coming from Prayagraj district is very large, from remote areas. So, and this age group, as I said, it was really scary to see a 15, 16-year-old girl coming. And, in some cases, mammography showed that as benign case, but after a follow-up and biopsy, it was confirmed as malignancy. So this was only one example of such case. We took, we were given ethical clearance by medical college, by the group of doctors, because there's no harm in this study. We wanted to see whether we can make something handy and portable and that can be easily used by a minimally trained person in any remote area. It doesn't require any big machine or something. It's a very compact device. And we started collecting data, even though initially you have to convince the patient. They are coming from different. First of all, they're concerned about the cost. Then they're concerned about whether the information that we are collecting and whether it is going to harm them or not. So we had we took the consent form. There was proper protocol that was followed. We developed our own protocol, and to make sure that the patient was comfortable, the female patient. And then we took the data from the prototype of the device. Now it has now we have converted this into a commercially ready product with all the compliance. And from the day one, actually, I also want to emphasize, because, I started with the research, but I also kept in mind the guidelines given by the medical device rule book. According to that, so that step by step, we knew that at the next step, this is the compliance that we have to follow. This is a, certificate that we have to get, so that we are easily, we are reaching the market with minimum hurdles, because this involves a lot of cost. The legal and the regulatory part involves a lot of cost. Right. So that is how it was not only collecting data, interpreting it, sitting with the doctors, because the doctors, oncologists, you understand, they're very busy. They don't get time, So once a week we used to sit and I used to share them case studies. And this is what we have found and this is what is there in mammography and ultrasound. And so we got the 93% sensitivity and 80% accuracy. Okay. And doctors were like in our panel, the oncologists and radiologists, they were hopeful. Okay, this is something in the positive direction. You can work on that. You can improve that and make it more cost effective. So this is how we proceeded,
Yeah, I'm sure this adds credibility also because you've got the backing of doctors.
Definitely.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you work on this part, going from research to, starting a health tech startup? So what were the biggest validation or credibility challenges that you faced?
Well, there are many challenges.
Yeah, I'm sure, doctors coming on board.
Validation part. Yeah. So, it's easy we have been conducting breast cancer awareness campaigns through various platforms. Through IIT Kanpur, we incubated there, JSET, STEP, Noida, and all other platforms. It's easy to raise awareness, but when it comes to device, so we, initially we were bootstrapped. And I, as a woman, obviously, sometimes it was really difficult for me to convince others about my judgment, about my decisions. Why am I choosing this person and not that person? Why this legal action needs to be taken now instead of delaying it. So these are, the few things. I mean, there are mind games that are going on. There are many stakeholders, People know that, okay, something is in medical device is very, very fruitful, but it is equally challenging. So balancing that. And so initially, my main emphasis was forming a core team, which is based in Prayagraj. Because as a small city, we have our own limitations. We have our own, good points. So the core team is in Allahabad. So we knew each other. We could, me and my husband, we made others like his friends and then my friends from the technical background to join us and give their input at every stage. Some ideas worked, some didn't. Regarding even the app development, regarding the device, I had many versions of the device in my mind. But then based on the commercial expertise of, there's a business expert also. So we made it very simple. It's very easy to get your paper published and then, to get recognition for that. But to convert that into a product, you need to have an idea about each and every component, each and every cost, each and every rupee that is involved. One rupee saved here will be utilized somewhere else. So yeah, this is going on every day, such things. But yeah, we are we are managing.
Okay.
And
what about your
yeah.
husband's background? His name?
He's Dr. Gaurav Singh. He's the
Okay.
co-founder, and he is the district project coordinator in World Bank projects. So he has, in addition to his MBA degree, actually he has got a good experience deploying the World Bank, project-related items across Uttar Pradesh. So he knows the whole ecosystem, how things
Right.
work here.
Yeah.
So it's easier to plan, but to get something done, this is where you require a team. So this is how we are proceeding. And his financial acumen is great. So that's how we are managing.
That's very important. Yeah. So with his background and your vision and focus also, so accessibility I'm seeing has been there from the beginning, right? That's been part of your vision, right? So
definitely.
So from the beginning you were clear that you're catering to women in rural and underserved regions. So how did you design DG Rakshak? Like you're saying that it's low cost, it's affordable, it's very accessible. So how did you design it keeping low resource settings in mind, from day one?
Yeah. So simple thing is, I needed something which is handy, obviously. The big machines, I mean, it is difficult to bring them anywhere in a village or something. So we used to sit with our R&D team for hours and hours to finalize the design, to make it very lightweight, portable. I mean, the prototype that we used was lab developed, but it was not fully automated. Based on, still there are few iterations that are going on. The design that we are working on, we are collecting data and getting results. I need to improve it further. And most of all, as you said, it has to be deployed in rural areas. So, the important thing is the charging issue. So we have kept it like that. It can last up to 6 to 8 hours without any disruption. So this is what doctors want. They can use it in camps, and we just need to set up a mobile, a sort of covered area where you can easily take data in 10 minutes time. It doesn't take much time, and the report is instantaneously generated within few minutes. So then that will actually, this report is sent to the diagnostic center, which we have a tie-up with, the doctor in our panel, and to the technical team. So all three of them. So, based on that, the patient is recommended to go for the next follow-up, or, if it is okay, then this is how we have devised it. And initially now it is currently it is in English, but we are planning to bring it to multilingual platforms also.
Okay.
But first of all, the usability, it can be deployed everywhere. It can be used by an Asha Behenji. That was my initial aim. Yeah. I want to be a part of, the whole team is working so hard so that we become a part of Ayushman Bharat Data Mission.
Right.
Once it can be deployed, it can be easily used by an Asha Behenji, language no barrier and technology no, it's very easy to use. I was very clear from the beginning, told to my R&D team that keep the operation minimum, keep it very simple. Just like we used to use oximeter, right, during our corona cases. It was there in every household. So we want it to be as simple as possible. So this is how we make sure that it is going to reach to any remote area.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You say it takes just 10 minutes, and that's so important for women, who can't even get out of their homes for long hours. So, so taking out an entire day or many hours in a day, on a busy day just for a checkup, it's not possible a lot of the time. So 10 minutes is good, So tell me, just for me to understand, this is a non-invasive early screening device, right? And after that, what happens once you know whether you're at high risk or low risk? What is it? What is the process?
So the report validated by a radiologist is generated, and a patient is, we have added this feature as well, that it will be asked to, it will be given suggestions regarding the nearby diagnostic centers which are there. So if it is at high risk, they'll be suggested the near one to go for mammography or ultrasound. And if it is a low risk, then also they'll be asked to do a follow-up after 3 months, because that itself, covers many things.
Okay. Yeah. So this is basically, before you don't have to just go for a mammography, mammogram straight away. So you can start with this. And if there's any risk, then, it's non-invasive, you get to know, and then you can take steps accordingly.
Yeah, and it is useful for young women who are having dense breast, which is not covered in mammography. It can be used n number of times, So there's no harm, and most of all, we are catering to two things. Like, first is reducing the cost. Actually, we are targeting not only the women who are coming to the diagnostic center, but we are a step in between their house and the diagnostic center. So, when we are combining with we are actually, our main customers initially will be gynecologists, clinicians, or rural health areas, primary health centers, such kind of places where people can be, there's a large footfall of female population.
Yeah.
So
and
they
it's
don't
no commitment area, right? They don't have to be, because cancer can be a very scary thing. So
Definitely.
It's just a screening, so it doesn't have, do I have cancer, do I not have cancer? It's not like, right?
It's just that this is how I used to convince patients who used to come. See, there's slight problem, just get yourself examined, and अगर है तो आप दिखाइए डॉक्टर को, बस इतना. So by that only, we'll not only be treating them, but we'll also solving the commercial purpose.
Yeah.
दोनों चीजें startup. I mean, it will help in generating revenue as well, and we'll reach to maximum number of women. Even if we are reducing cost, hopefully we'll reduce cost further.
Okay.
So it will, once it becomes a part of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, government supports us, we'll make it very low cost. So that way it will. The sky is the limit. Obviously, we can reach maximum of India.
Yeah, that's really good to know. So tell me, as a woman founder in deep tech and med tech, what has been your experience? Are there any challenges, any whatever, positive or otherwise, any experiences to share?
As a positive, obviously, once somebody sees, okay, as a woman founder, you get certain respect. Okay, that's good to feel, and people try to help you. Initially they try to help you, but the challenging part was, while it's easy to discuss technical aspects with any of the stakeholders, but when you are pushing for speed, I can be a hard taskmaster. I'm really a hard taskmaster, and once something is there in my mind, I need to get it done, as fast as possible with all the planning. So then people don't, and I want timely execution. There's no compromise in that. So then, people, so they don't take you seriously. Even sometimes the team members, they have their preconceived notions about, a woman leader. So every play, when it comes to money, the game becomes ugly. This is what I'm learning, It really is an ugly game. Every stakeholder plays a mind game for their own vested interests, and they try to downplay your instincts and your decisions. I take certain decisions based on, my experience, my vision, but then, this is, so you have to, then I have started identifying those patterns, and now my decisions, like, overall, we try to include as many people as possible, and, try to let go my own instincts and see the big picture. So this is how, this is challenging, but I'm learning.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. Yeah. So tell me, in 5 years from now, you already have mentioned, there's so many things you want to do with DG Rakshak. So what is your vision, let's say, 5 years from now?
Well, 5 years from now, DG Rakshak would have become a leading player in the field of medical devices, with our own manufacturing unit, sales and distribution channel, working well across India. And we would also become an integral part of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission to deliver routine breast cancer screening services to each and every corner of our country.
That's a great vision statement. That's fantastic. Yeah. So finally, Dr. Deepika, when it comes to whoever's listening in right now, startup founders who want to basically become startup founders, young researchers, engineers, whoever's listening to us, and especially those, who are working on socially impactful ideas, what advice would you give them, for turning research into real world change and action?
Yeah. So all our dear listeners, young researchers, engineers, founders, working on socially impactful ideas, I just want to say to every human being is an entrepreneur, basically. We are juggling through various life responsibilities, fighting our own battles and moving forward towards our goals. So just align your mind and body to your inner calling. There's some inner strength, your driving force, and believe in yourself. So in my case, I found that all the answers are right there in front of you. Just you need to change the way you're looking at your problem. Okay, move one step daily, however big or small it is. Form a strong team which will support you no matter what. Also, make sure that you are well aware of the regulatory requirements of your field, because many times founders struggle at a later stage to fit their product or service according to the compliance, and they end up spending double the money. And each wrong decision will cost you lots of money. You should have a strong financial support to survive in the game. This is a fact. Apply all your skills and knowledge to read between the lines. You need to develop skills to understand a situation, know what is wrong, and how you can correct it. So fortunately, now is the perfect time for us, as India is paving way for the world to convert ideas into sustainable solutions. Let us show the world what 1.48 billion people can achieve together if we work as a team. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you've given some very practical and very heartfelt advice. So,
yeah. And one more thing I just want to mention, that yesterday, inspired by Prime Minister Modi ji's vision of healthy women, empowered family, Namo Shakti Rath was launched in Varanasi to boost early breast cancer detection. So I must say this is a great initiative, and this is in line with Mission Digi Rakshak.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Deepika, for your time and for doing this, and all the best. And we're sure, like in 5 years or maybe even, fewer years than that, we'll see all your dreams turning into reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuradha. And it's really wonderful talking to you. And thank you, Manoj, for giving me this opportunity. Take care.